Hello everyone, my name is Amanda and welcome back to another video of the Planty Mandy. Okay, so welcome back to part 6 of my Hoya Foliage Favorite. And this time we're gonna talk about some more unique leaves Hoya. So now I know unique is a term that is super objective, like what I find unique may not be, what you find unique and vice versa. So I think this explanation is necessary, all right? So to me, a unique leaves Hoya is something that when I first saw it, I wouldn't think, oh, that's a Hoyas, or they just have a little bit more different growth structure or leaf shape. That's what I would consider as unique. So other two disclaimer as usual, when I'm referring to Hoyas as more rare or more easily accessible, I'm only speaking to my location and my market. So to you, it may be different. Something that I have trouble finding may be super easy for you and vice versa. And last but not least is, these are just the top 5 that in my collection, in my opinion, that I think they are kind of unique, and it's worth a mention. So with all that's out of the way, let's get started. So as usual, I always like to start with the one that is like more easily accessible, like at least in my location first. And this guy has a reputation of, it's very slow growing. And I know there's at least three other versions of this, or 2 other versions of this, of different varieties of this Hoyas, particular Hoyas. And this is no other than, whoops, it's getting long, the Hoya carnosa compacta. So I know that, this one for us, at least in like California, I think it's not hard to find. Like they are available in a lot of nursery, and they are also available in some big box store as well. So yeah, so this is one of my first Hoya, and when I first see this plant, I'm like, oh my god, it looked like what do you call that, intestine? Like it looked like some kind of like pig intestine or something like that. And I find this like really interesting. So now Hoya carnosa compacta, it's a cultivar of Hoya carnosa, obviously. And it have this like really like interesting curly leaves that they just kind of like fold into each other. So as you can see, I have this for a while now. It's one of my first Hoyas. And there's all this like new grow like coming up right here. Yeah, I would say I do agree with what most people say. It is kind of like slow growing. However, if you give it like, sufficient light, I find that it's actually would grow at a reasonable speed. And also the new grow, let me see if I can find any. If you give it a lot of light, would come out a little bit more dark green, and this one even have some splash on it. This is a new grow. Even have some splash on it in comparison to my older leaves. So this is one thing that I noticed on this Hoya carnosa compacta. So one, other than being slow growing, the other challenge that I heard from a lot of people about this Hoya carnosa compacta is, if you get mealy bugs on it, it's gonna be a nightmare. Because as you can see, all this like fold, it's like the perfect hiding spot for mealybugs. So if you unfortunately do get, those mealybugs on it, knock on wood, you may have to, you either can be really diligent, like checking every single nook and cranny to get rid of the mealybugs, or you may have to compose your plants if the infestation is too bad. So so again, the best way to prevent that from happening is just keep your plants healthy, don't stress it out. And the other thing I want to mention, that I know there is a variegated form, 2 variegated forms of this Hoya carnosa compacta. The first one is the just the Hoya compacta variegata. So that one have the outer variegation. So meaning that the white variegation is on the outer side of the leaf. I'll try to find a picture so you guys can actually compare it. So that will be the outer variegation. There's also a inner variegation. So I think that one is also called the Mona Loa, I think. So it has the variegation inside and the outside of the leaf is green. So I used to have a inner variegation one, but it was just going so slow that I was like, oh, like it's not really doing anything. Maybe I'm not giving it, you know, good care. So I kind of end up trading it with someone else. Someone else can, you know, appreciate that a lot more than me. So yeah, so those are the couple variation of the Hoya compacta I can think of. So now there is this plant called Jody Silver. So it's also have this, basically it's look like Hoya compacta, like this one, but it's all silver. And that is like the holy grail of in the Hoyas world, if you would, you know, say that. I know it's extremely hard to find. It's almost impossible to find. And it's very, very pricey. So, yeah, so, but if you're interested, I'll also put a picture somewhere, so you can see, like, maybe you can see the hype why people are so into that. Okay, so moving on, the second one I want to talk about, it's kind of hard to find. Like, it's definitely much harder to find than the Carnosa compacta. But I wouldn't say it's impossible. I actually see it's been popping up more and more, especially online. And this is a cute little one. And this is the Hoya rotundiflora. And Hoya rotundiflora also known as square leaves Hoya. And you can see why, because the leaf is kind of square. And yeah, so the leaves, they're really, really succulent, like really, really hard. And I want to try to show you. There's actually, if I can, it's so hard. It's right here. So it's like, you can't really see it, but like, it's right here. Actually, you can kind of see it, but it's not. Yep, there you go. So you see this woody tiny one, like right at my index. No, ring finger, right here. The new leaf is coming out. Yeah, so I would say this guy is super easy to care for. If you feel it, you can like kind of like, if you look at it really closely, you can kind of see a little bit of fuzz, you know, on the leaf as well. It's actually a lot more prominent on the baby leaves with the fuzziness. So yeah, so this is the Hoya rotundiflora. So yeah, I would say like it's a little bit hard to find, but it's not impossible, and it's relatively easy to care for. So you can see this guy is already growing a vine for me, and then there's like some small new leaves coming out here as well. So yeah, I really like it, and it's really different. It's the leaves is square. How often do you like see like, you know, not only Hoya but like just plant in general with square leaves? So I think this is very, very, very adorable and cute. Yay! Okay, so going down the list, this one, it's also, I would say it's a tiny bit harder to find than the rotundiflora. And I think the reason for that is because this is not the easiest growing Hoyas. It does require a little bit more like specialized environment, if you would, to successfully grow this Hoya. And I will admit this, I actually killed this Hoya 2 or 3 times, I forgot, but I refused to give up. So finally, I'm able to grow this, and actually with new growth. And this is the Hoya imbricata. So this is a small one. I have a bigger one. This is a propagation. So I want to show you this one in particular instead of big one, because this one actually kind of have all the different growth structure of Hoya imbricata. So Hoya imbricata, also known as taco Hoya, some people call it. It's because of this like pocket shape leaves. And you can also see some of the new leaf come out. It's this like flat one. And what the reason that this Hoyas grow this way is because in the nature where it's actually grown, it's formed this very interesting symbiotic relationship with some insects. I think it's mainly ants. So what the ants do is like they would find shelter inside the pocket or underneath, you know, the flat ones. Because in nature, this flat one would like basically stick on the tree. So it's formed this like, so like this is the tree, this is the leaf, and go boop. So basically it's formed this little camping tents, I would say, for the ants to take shelter from rain or predators or whatever. So yeah, so that's why it's shaped like this. And in return, you know, the ants will protect the plants from like herbivores, and you know, they will also provide a little bit of like, you know, nutrients like nitrogen and stuff like that for the plant. So yeah, so I think it's very amazing. I remember the first time I ever saw this plant, it was on Plant One on Me with Summer Rain Oaks when she was in Thailand, and I was like, oh my god, that's a Hoya, I have to have it. So I at that time it was almost impossible to find in the United States market, so I have to like actually import one from Thailand, which I killed because I didn't know how to care for it. So yeah, talking about the care, remember I mentioned it does require a little bit more like specialized environment. So I noticed this Hoya do like a lot of humidity, and it does like warmer temperature. So I would say like if you can up the temperature to like 70 degree, above 70 degree Fahrenheit, it will be really happy. And humidity wise, yes, also you may want to aim for like a high 70s, maybe even 80% of humidity for this Hoya to thrive. So for this propagation, I start with this 1, 2, 3 like big pocket, and you can see this small one, and all these two are new leaves. I find it's grow out really nicely when I put it in the propagation box. So it's and on a heat mat. So it's tell me that this, you know, particular Hoyas loves heat and humidity. So yeah, so that's why I say it's not the easiest to care for or to grow. The other thing I want to caution you too is just like the Hoya carnosa compacta, watch out for mealybugs. So the first Hoya imbricata that I killed was because of mealybugs. So I didn't really check for it for a while, and later on when the leaves start to turn yellow, I kind of checked throughout the plants. I finally opened the pocket. I kind of like crack it open, and I found like mealybugs in it, and that was too late. So the plant was like a goner at that point. So I would say, yeah, like check your plants, because again, just like the Hoya carnosa compacta, this kind of pocket shape provide a really good spot for the mealybugs to hide. So make sure that, you know, if you want to grow this plant, I would check the pocket regularly. So I don't want to crack open the, you know, the closed one, but you can see the stem, it's actually in there. So yeah, so make sure that you you know, watch out for that if you want to grow a healthy Hoya imbricata. Oh, and by the way, this one is like the splashy version. There's also like green version of Hoya imbricata, and I think there's like kind of like a wet purple one too, but that one is even more like even rarer. So yep, Hoya imbricata, yay. All right, so next one is a hot one, and I see that was bid on eBay for hundreds of dollars. I was lucky enough to get this from Gardino Nursery, but I also have to bid on, you know, eBay. But that was before, I guess it was before people get really like, oh my god, this is my wishlist plans. So I got lucky and bid it at like a reasonable price. Yeah, and it has grown a lot since then, so I'm happy. And this plant, if you look at vermonthoyas.com, like Doug's website, he says something about this plant, when it's bloomed, the bloom actually look more like the Shedia, which is another genus under the Aponaceae family, the milkweed family, which I agree. Like it haven't found for me yet, but when I look up the picture, yeah, the flower does actually look more like the Shedia, but regardless, it was classified as Hoyas. And this is the Hoya manipurensis. So it's this is very, very unique in the Hoyas world. At least it has this like triangle shape leaves. It's actually almost look like a mouse face on this one. But yeah, so it had this really unique succulent triangle shaped leaves. And you can see there's like a baby leaves. Can you see it? Here, hold on. Oh, there you go. There's a baby coming up here. And then you can see the bottom of the leaves. It's kind of red. So yeah, I can see like the appeal of it. And to me, that's really unique because you don't see a lot of this, you know, in the Hoyas world. And it is in my lacquer right now. And then you can see all this root growing out. Yeah, I probably have to like, you know, pot it higher because I don't want the wood to be constantly submerged in water. But regardless, I think it's really pretty. And if you give it enough light, you can see the top of the leaf also turn a little bit red. And also it's, you know, even come up with a tiny bit of splash as well. So yep. Yeah, really unique Hoya manipurensis. It's still really hard to find, at least in my market. But I would say if you're interested in this, you know, reach out to maybe private collectors or, you know, go on eBay. Although the auction format, you know, can be really intense. But, you know, if you get one, it's not difficult to take care of it at all. I just put it under my grow light, and as you can see, it's in nacre. So I just basically, you know, put about like a quarter of the water in there when it's empty. So yeah, I really like it. I enjoy growing this. Yay, Hoya manipurensis. So the last one, I actually has been searching it for a while. When I discover it, I was like, oh my god, that's a Hoya. I have to have it. The first one I bought was a cutting, like an unrooted cutting, and then it's died basically almost instantly. So that's pretty bad. But you know, I didn't give up because I am that stubborn. So I finally, you know, found another one from overseas. And I don't think this is a very popular Hoyas. I don't think it's common at all. I would say out of all 5 Hoyas, I mean, yeah, all 5 Hoyas that we talk about in this video, this one is probably the one that you are least likely to see in the market. And this is the... What is this, guys? Do you know this? All right, so this is the Hoya acicularis. So as you can see, Hoya acicularis has really like long and skinny leaves. And at the same time, it's very succulent. So it's like basically it's like a needle. It's like a needle. Yeah, so when I first saw it, I just instantly like want it because of how different it's look in comparison to like other Hoyas I have. And you can see like it actually can grow like really long as well. And yeah, so it's you can grow it out as a trailing plant, but I like to like put it up because I want them to reach for the light. And yes, you can see like, you know, if you put it closer to the light, it actually would turn red. Remember, because of the anthocyanins? Yeah, our sciencey sun-kissed Hoya video. So yeah, so I really enjoy this plant. And you can see it's in moss because when it first came, I had to get it from international source because I couldn't find it US and I really wanted it. So I took the risk to, you know, bought it from overseas. And when it came in, the root is no good. So I do what I normally do. I just cut off the roots and then I root it up again. And it is rooted. It's still in moss because like I generally like to make sure the roots is like more healthier or more established before I actually transition it into like a lacquer or even my bulk mix and stuff like that. But yeah, I really enjoy this. I really love the elongated, like really elongated leaves, but at the same time it's like super succulent. So yeah, I think it's not hard to care for. You know, at least now that it's rooted, it's actually you know, pretty easy going. And it does get sun stress under the grow light. So yeah, it's a really pretty one, really different and unique one. Hoya acicularis. Yay. All right, so that's the 5 unique Hoyas that I think is unique in my collection. So again, you might think that, oh, that's not unique, that's very common, but you know, so it's okay. It's just regard that as like an exchange of thoughts, or like, you know, we just learn some new species together. And if you have some Hoyas that it's like really unique, that you know, you want to talk about it or let me know, just make sure you put it in the comment below. And yeah, so let's recap really quick. So first one, we have this really beautiful, slow growing, but you know, interesting looking Hoya carnosa compacta. And then we're gonna go down the list. We have this square leaves Hoya, the Hoya rotundiflora. Really interesting shape. Like again, like not just for Hoyas, but overall in the plant kingdom, I haven't seen a lot of, maybe I'm ignorant, but I haven't seen many like leaves that are square shaped. And the third one is Hoya imbricata propagation. Really interesting wisdom of plants and animal benefiting each other, coexisting in the nature. Hoya imbricata. Some people find it creepy, but I find it really, really adorable. And the next one we have is the, you know, I don't know if it's still high demands, but I want to say yes, but it's still hard to find. So this is this triangle shape, like red bottom, Hoya manipurensis. And last but not least is the one that I, you know, really seldom, you know, heard about, and maybe people just don't like it. Maybe it's just me. The Hoya acicularis. I love this guy so much, and I'm glad it's actually rooted up and recovering well. So yep, yay. Okay, so those are the 5 unique Hoyas, you know, in my opinion, that are unique in my collection. So again, make sure that you leave in the comment below, what do you think? And if you have any unique Hoya that you want to introduce to me, put in the comment below. By the way, when I was thinking about doing this unique leaves Hoyas video, the first plant I thought of was the Hoya spartioides. So this Hoya have this like super long skinny leaves. I'll put a picture somewhere so you know what I'm talking about. I was thinking about like, you know, that one is for sure in the video, but guess what? I couldn't keep it alive, so I don't have that anymore. But yeah, but that would be the other one that I was really like thinking about, popping in my mind right away, other than this couple Hoyas we talk about. So yeah, so that's all I have got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you click like. If you want more future video, make sure you click subscribe. Again, I don't know how many Hoya Foliage Favorite I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep this as like a series, you know, and based on your feedback and your comments, I will like, you know, really like whip up something so we can all enjoy together. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye.